This is World Cafe. I'm Raina Douris, and Christmas has come early. Now, usually, I don't talk about sports much on this show, so if you don't follow me on social media, you might not know I am a huge Eagles fan. That's the NFL team, the Philadelphia Eagles. So I was delighted when the team took a foray into music, which meant we could have them on this show. Last year, the Eagles released a Christmas album for charity called A Philly Special Christmas. It was spearheaded by offensive linemen Jason Kelce, Johnson and Jordan Mailata, calling themselves the Philly Specials. The album did so well that they've made another. It's called A Philly Special Christmas Special. And just for the record, if you're getting confused, the Philly Special is a trick play the Eagles did that helped them win the Super Bowl back in 2018. Now, both albums were produced by fellow Philadelphian Charlie Hall of the War on Drugs. Today, Charlie Hall and Jordan Mailata join me on the show. And one quick thing, if you're listening on YouTube, due to licensing and label stuff, we can't play you full versions of album tracks, so you'll just hear quick clips. This is just a bit of Jordan Mailata singing All I Want for Christmas Is You.
All I want for Christmas is you.
You just heard Jordan Mailata, Jason Kelce, and Lane Johnson performing All I Want for Christmas Is You. I'm Raina Douris. This is World Cafe, and Eagles offensive lineman Jordan Mailata and Charlie Hall, who produced the new album, A Philly Special Christmas Special, who is also the War on Drugs drummer, is here too. Welcome to the World Cafe.
Right. Woo, woo, woo. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming.
It's exciting. This is an awesome place.
Yeah, I'm feeling very festive already.
Yeah.
Choosing to sing Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You is a really gutsy move because everyone knows that song. It's a really hard song to sing, but you nailed it. What was behind the decision to do it?
Whose idea do you think it was?
Yeah, whose idea was it?
You're looking at him.
Yeah, it was sort of my idea. Oh, well, yes, I will say it was my idea. But I feel like Kelsey and I had this kind of like discussion in the locker room where we just were like, maybe there aren't enough upbeat songs. And I just threw it out there, like, why don't we try All I Want for Christmas? And he was like, that's a great upbeat song. And he had complete faith that I could nail it. And I was like, I was hoping that we could all have a part in this. And he said, no, we're going to do it, it's going to be your song. I was like, I kind of already have a song with a huge feature on there with Miss Patti LaBelle. So
Oh yeah, we'll get to that in a bit.
They got in there though,
and the boys got in there, so they didn't leave me out to dry.
This is the second time you guys have made a Christmas album. Last year, you released A Philly Special Christmas, and I want you to take us back to 2021 for a minute. Charlie, Jason Kelce and former Eagles linebacker Connor Barwin reached out saying they wanted to make this Christmas album with you. What was your immediate reaction to that?
I mean, I'm pretty much like a say yes kind of guy, like that sounds, like I know and trust them. And then like we started to hang with Jordan and Lane just to like sort of feel it out. And I was just like, yeah, this would be, well, if nothing else, this is going to be beautiful, whatever it is, even if we just make 5 copies of this thing, like one for each of us. It's going to be great.
And Jordan, from your side of things, why was Charlie somebody that you guys wanted to work with?
Well, I had previously never met Charlie, but when we were talking about the idea, Connor and Jason brought up Charlie, and they had all the faith and trust in him in the world. So when I first met Charlie, I was like, this guy's a bit loose. He's a bit loose.
Wait, what does that mean, a bit loose?
Just his whole character, just like, just laid back, chill. That's what I meant by that, like laid back and chill. And I was like, this guy is fun to be around.
Yeah.
And then when we were just hanging around, I kind of figured like that was just Charlie. And when we got into the studio, I felt like he took me to higher levels and like made me push myself even more than what I usually would. So, I mean, it's great. It's a great friendship.
I want to come back to you guys in the studio in a minute, but for this album, again, the proceeds are going to charity. Why did you decide to partner with the Children's Crisis Treatment Center and the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia?
I think as a group, we wanted to start off with just Jason Kelce has this wild goal. He wants to give every kid in Philadelphia a present. And I say wild because that's a lot of kids. And we wanted to, what we thought about what was the best way to kind of achieve that goal, because we realistically can't do that. And so we found CCTC and decided that the work that they work and interact with a lot of kids, and that's why we picked them to partner up.
Let me quickly reintroduce you. I'm talking to Jordan Mailata and Charlie Hall on World Cafe. Charlie, you were a high school music teacher long ago, am I right?
Yeah.
And you also direct the Silver Ages, which is an all-male choir. And I've heard that the singers in that choir even call you coach.
They do.
So how did that past experience apply to directing Jordan and Lane and Jason?
Yeah, I mean, it's all connected, right? Like everything what you do in life is connected. Like whether it's teaching or like I used to be a social worker, connecting families with resources and anything that also like involves group dynamics. Like all these things. Like when you're putting together a team, it's like it's all about how everything functions together, right? And like everyone has roles, just like on the field. Like everyone has a position. And yet, and like something like individual that you are working towards, but at the same time, like it's all one organism, it's like
Right.
one operation. So I guess I enjoy managing those dynamics like making sure everyone's like connected and feeling like the vision.
Yeah, you're like a
unified.
cohesive whole with one, goal in mind.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And Jordan, from your perspective, as you're somebody who's used to being coached on the field, what was it like being coached in a studio?
You have to be coachable, regardless of the environment or who's coaching you, regardless of what it is that you're doing. You got to be coachable, and that's exactly why I guess the album sounds pretty good. We got great coaches to put us in great positions, and it turned into great songs.
How did you choose?
That's my NFL answer. That's my NFL answer, but I twisted it to fit the mold here.
Well, but it takes confidence to be coached. I think like it takes confidence to try something and try to do better. You know what I mean? Like it's that's one of the things that it's sort of intangible, but like one of the things that's so cool with these guys like coming in. It's like I don't know, musicians are weird. You know what I mean? They're like ego-y and sometimes and like. These guys came in. It's like there's ego, like there's confidence, but it's like there's confidence to just like put it out there.
Right, you're not precious about it. It's a little bit different.
There was a lot of humility from Jason and Lane's side, not so much from my side, just because that ego, I kind of had that because I know my strengths and my weaknesses, and so did Lane and Kel. So they just came in there very humble and very just. See what I can do, see what I can put out there, and whatever coaching they just took along. I took along a lot of coaching from Coach E. Shout out Coach E. So, yeah, I mean, that was just it. You got to come in there with an open mind. Can't think that you're at the top of your game, and I think that's why we're able to take coaching, because we just want to be. Yeah,
and you guys also like are really great at like putting each other in a position to succeed. Like what Jay needs or what Lane needs, like to sort of like be comfortable and do his thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Bring out the best in each other.
For sure.
I do want to talk about your background in singing in a minute, but first I want to get to another song. We're going to hear a song that Lane sings on the album. It's called Pretty Paper. He's singing with Katie Critchfield, a.k.a. Waxahachie. Did you guys reach out to Katie? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Why was she the right person or the right voice to sing on this song?
Just felt like the right, I don't know, just felt like the right fit. That's like not to be vague about it, but like that tune, it's one of my favorite tunes.
Yeah, it is.
And,
it's
got
beautiful.
like and she's got, there's like a sort of a purity to her voice that's really cool and I think complements Lane's really well.
Well, let's take a listen. Here's Lane Johnson with Waxahachie, Pretty Paper.
Crowded street, busy feet, hustle by him. He cries
From a Philly special, Christmas special, the new holiday album from members of the Philadelphia Eagles, you just heard Pretty Paper, performed by Eagles offensive lineman Lane Johnson, and featuring vocals from Waxahachie. I'm Raina Douris. I'm joined by Eagles player Jordan Mailata and the album's producer and drummer for the War on Drugs, Charlie Hall. Jordan, you've said that music was your first love before sports. When did you first realize that you could sing?
I'm very fortunate that I grew up in a Polynesian household, a Samoan household. Where I grew up in Australia, it is not a surprise for Polynesians to sing. And I think I'm just one of many talented Samoans back home that are able to sing because it's the culture that we're brought up into. We go to church. We're at church pretty much the whole weekend, and you have no option but to join the choir. We do prayers at home, and to start the prayer, you sing a song. To end the prayer, you sing a song. So I was just surrounded by it. I grew up around it, and I'm one of 5 kids, so that's just grew up around singing and music, and that's kind of where it started, to be honest.
We're going to listen to one of the songs on the album where you take the lead, Jordan, but you're also joined by a very special guest, Philadelphia's soul legend, Patti LaBelle. How did she end up getting involved in this project?
Yeah, this is a Charlie question, because
Okay,
I have
Charlie.
no idea how.
I mean,
Still don't.
we were coming at her from a couple different angles, and then finally, like I know some people in her band, and Connor got in touch with Zuri, her son, and then eventually, once it got to her, I mean, she's an Eagles fan, you know what I mean? And I think she heard this guy sing, and she was like, count me in.
Yeah.
She was incredible.
And she actually came to the practice facility in August, right, in South Philly, which is just a great image by itself, is Patti LaBelle walking through the Eagles practice facility.
You can even overstate like how incredible, like she walks into a room and you're just like, oh yeah.
It is
Here
so
comes
funny.
greatness.
What was that day like for you?
It was amazing. Probably a day I'll never forget for sure. That was such a humbling experience. I think the best part was just showing her the facility afterwards, and everybody who recognized her just like, what are you doing here? Like, what is, like bowing, and like all the old heads in the facility were like bowing essentially to her. Like,
It's like the last person you'd
Greatness.
expect to turn a
Yes.
corner in the hallway and just see.
And she was just down for it.
yeah, she loved
know.
it. She loved it.
I heard you were a little starstruck, Jordan.
I mean, that doesn't even begin to describe.
It's the only time I've ever seen him quiet.
Yeah.
Really?
I just tried to. Well, we were just there to record Patty's part, and there's a lot of ad libs, stuff that we had to improvise in the song there, and she just wanted me to come up there and sing with her, and I wasn't expecting that because I'd done all my parts
Right? Okay, so you were just going to like do it so she could kind
Yeah.
of play off of it.
just to play off of it, and
She was like, all right, singer man.
I just couldn't sing. Nothing would come out.
You got
nothing.
past it, though.
Pacified?
Did you get past it?
Oh, by the you're pacified.
I got him his pacifier and everything was cool. You know what I mean?
Pretty much nothing was coming out.
burped
So
him.
I was just like nervous.
Yeah.
I didn't know why nothing was like. I was open my mouth and nothing would come out.
That's
There
wild
was
because
no sound.
you've performed like tons, and you were on The Masked Singer. It's
Yeah.
like you're not. You
I
perform
don't-
sports all the time in front of
I don't know.
huge
There's only one
audiences.
time I've ever been stage fright.
That's wild.
And it's like before that, probably like when I was like 10 years old.
Man. Well, you sound beautiful together in the song. We're going to hear it right now. It's Jordan Mailata and Patti LaBelle with This Christmas.
Presents and cards are here. My world is filled with cheer. And you, babe.
On World Cafe, I'm Raina Douris, joined by Eagles offensive lineman Jordan Mailata and musician Charlie Hall. Charlie produced the new holiday album from members of the Eagles called A Philly Special Christmas Special. That song you just heard is on the album. It's Jordan Mailata and Patti LaBelle singing This Christmas. Guys, before the mics were on, you mentioned there was something you might not be able to talk about, but we've gotten the thumbs up from the control room. What was it?
So there's a song, "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas,"
Oh, yeah.
and this is a song that's been recorded a million times, obviously, but like these guys are all trading verses, and they have a friend on the team who's also connected through music, and I've been hearing about this guy
For a long time.
a long time
For a
now.
long
Like
time.
we gotta get
tried to get him on the first album.
JD in.
And it's Jordan Davis.
Oh, yeah?
We tried to get him involved in the first album, and he was kind of shy about it and didn't want it, so he never showed up. Kind of just left you on red, kind of thing. So, shout out to you,
How did you get him to
JD.
do it?
Connor Bowen. Persistent. That man is persistent,
Just won't give
and
up.
just hounded JD every day. And I think it was like one of our last, or closer to
Yeah.
when we were ending the whole process. Jordan showed up. It was like late.
It was
Like, what
incredible.
was he really nervous when he came in?
It was really nervous. I also wanted to kill him just because of I was about to go home. I'd already been there for several hours, and I was about to go home, and then he rocked up. I had to stay there with him.
Yeah.
But man, oh man, was it worth it? It was so worth it.
I mean, it's a testament also to what we were talking about before, like how like when you to get get somebody comfortable so that they can be themselves, and that's like I watched
Yeah.
Jordan do this with
I turned
JD.
into a coach.
You
First time ever.
You did, man.
So,
What
I
did you
didn't
do?
know. I don't even remember. I just
It was like
trying
an
to come-
emotional thing, It's
Yeah,
just like
just trying to relate, get him comfortable, relate to him, and just make him see the bigger picture of it's just him and the mic. We're not here. You're in the shower. You're singing to yourself. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say shower. Okay, you're at church. It's just you and God. All right, it's just you and God.
it was really incredible to witness.
And that was Have Yourself a Merry Little
Yeah.
Christmas. Let's listen to some of that right now.
Through the years, we all will be together. If the fates allow.
That was Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. It's on a Philly special, Christmas special.
Here we are, as in olden days.
Oh my God,
Happy golden days of yore.
so good.
Wow, I can't
That's, the
wait.
best Christmas songs are the ones that are like a little sad, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I would love to hear from each of you, what is your favorite Christmas tradition at home?
Well, I mean, I can tell you, like, as a kid, there were two things that I always remember. Like, one was I would always get to sleep in my older brother's room.
Yeah.
And I think that was mostly so that he could, like, keep me on a leash and I wouldn't go downstairs and, like, start ripping open presents at, 6 in the morning. But also, like, he would read me The Night Before Christmas.
Oh.
And that was, like, a tradition that I just, like looking back on it, I was like, oh, yeah, like, I really, like, cherished that, time, that tradition that you didn't know it's a tradition really when it's happening. It's just like something that happens every year, and I think that's one of the fun things about the holidays or whatever. Like they mark your years. Like it's like, oh my gosh, like it seemed like yesterday that I was hanging ornaments on a tree, and it just makes you think about the passing of time and how that's sort of elastic. It sort of feels different as you get older.
Yeah.
I think it sort of gets faster.
For sure.
You're just like, wait a second.
I
Like,
can't believe it's
literally,
Christmas again already.
I think a month ago I was hanging ornaments on a tree. What's going on? And music. Like we would always listen to the same record.
Yeah.
And we still do. Like,
What was it?
It was the John Denver and the Muppets, A Christmas Together.
I was not expecting that.
Well, there you have it.
Told you, loose guy. Yeah. I told you, loose guy here.
It's so fun, and yeah, we still listen to it every year.
I think as a kid growing up, it's probably the way. I think for me, it was just it became routine. We had the midnight mass, and come home and prepare for. We always had Christmas. We had the Christmas barbecue at our place, and then just everyone bring over plate of food, plates of food. There was 30, 40 of us at my parents' house, and I shouldn't say 30 or 40, probably like 20 or 30, but yeah, it was just
still
good
a lot.
times. Just
That's a lot.
coming over with all the cousins and going to the park and playing games, and coming home, and the oldies are having a drink up. So yeah, that was what I, as a kid, that's what I loved about Christmas. Now it's my wife's cookie bacon. She makes some mean chocolate chip cookies.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Now that I'm older, I don't have any more time now. I don't have much time now, and
Well, now you can start new traditions.
yeah, like hire a cook or chef. Maybe hire a chef to make me all the home cooked food that I miss.
There you go.
I'm speaking with Jordan Mailata and Charlie Hall today. It's World Cafe. We're going to end off with the only original song written for this album. Jason Kelce wrote Santa's Night, and Jason isn't here with us today, but do you guys know if Jason had ever written a song before?
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think he has.
Yeah, I think I could say probably with fair degree of certainty
Lock
that
it in.
this was his first, attempt at writing a song.
So when he brought it to you guys, like what was your reaction?
Amazement,
Yeah.
and then also like, of course,
was-
of course you write an
Yeah.
incredible, like, timeless song.
I definitely thought he used Chat GPT or some sort of AI software to create the lyrics, because I was like, these lyrics are phenomenal. Like, the flow is
It's
amazing.
incredible.
Yeah, it was
And-
one of those, when I was listening through the record, I wasn't looking at the credits at the same time or the titles. And I was like, oh, what is this? I guess this is a Christmas song I've just never heard before. And then I looked at it, I was like, oh, this is the original one.
Yeah,
Which is pretty amazing. Writing a new Christmas song, I think, is a very challenging thing to do without
Yeah.
coming off kind of like corny, right?
Yeah, corny, or like what hasn't already been, said. And
Yeah.
like he found this perspective and this thing of like, I'm gonna write a song from the vantage point of this guy that's got like a crazy night of work ahead of him. Like
Yeah.
this one night a year. And
night
it's
a
like all
year.
this joy that, happens because of all this hard work.
Yeah, I was going to ask, because it is written from the perspective of Santa Claus,
Yeah.
if he said why that was a thing that he wanted to write about.
Well, you could think about it on any sort of metaphorical
Yeah.
level, probably. Like, I think that, not to speak for Jason, but like just looking at it objectively, it's like, what these guys do. I mean, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about, like asking about Christmas Day. And it's like, you're working on Christmas, And like these guys are, bringing so much to the city and to the fans. It's like, it's all like they're bringing joy to people, but it's like at the expense of, it's at a great expense.
It's only at the expense of our bodies and our minds.
Bodies and
Just
their
like
minds.
Santa. Plus, you wear a uniform, just like
biggie.
Santa.
No biggie. We feel like the reindeer, really. And we don't feel like Santa. We feel like the reindeer.
But Rudolph, though.
Rudolph.
Let's take a listen. Written and performed by Philadelphia Eagle Jason Kelce. This is Santa's Night.
I'm often caught thinking, why's it gotta be one night?
Santa's Night, an original song by Jason Kelce. It is on the new album, A Philly Special Christmas Special, from members of the Philadelphia Eagles. I've been speaking with Eagles offensive lineman Jordan Mailata, as well as Charlie Hall, who produced the album and is also the drummer for the War on Drugs. A Philly Special Christmas Special is out now. All proceeds from the vinyl sales benefit the Children's Crisis Treatment Center and Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Jordan, Charlie, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
for
us.
having us.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry
Yeah.
Christmas to you.
I'm Raina Douris, back in a moment with more World Cafe. Go Birds!